Alright, so in the same vein of canceling tech YouTubers, let's look at the latest video of Atozy about pirate software. I remember coming across pirate software in his YouTube shorts, where he was explaining things when, that those shorts that probably made him famous, that everybody knows, where he has like his camera and then below there's like an MS Paint and he's explaining things with his deep manly voice. And yeah, that's how I came across him. And then I remember there was this thing with what's it called? There was this thing with a World of Warcraft classic group where he reached out. And to be fair, okay, I've seen the video. Probably everybody would have done the exact same thing. But I guess the way he handled it after was what got him cancelled. Still, in my opinion, he hasn't killed anybody, okay? He might be annoying and he might be doubling down in things he's clearly wrong at. But I think the whole cancellation mob against pirate software is very overblown. And I don't think he deserves all this hate. I don't know. I don't think he deserves this much hate.
He has been destroying his career over the last few months, as for some reason there's just like this massive disconnect between his audience and the internet and him. And he might have just put his career in jeopardy by breaking Twitch's terms of service and potentially committing fraud. And I mean, overall, this is just...
Okay, I think pirate software is sort of like doubling down also because it's, publicity is very good. I think maybe somewhere down the line, he realized that he can cause a lot of controversy and be in the spotlight a lot, which is very good for his, probably very good for his career, and he's just doubling down and tripling down on purpose.
Been one of the craziest domino effects of nothing burgers that I've seen in a long time. But as usual...
Okay, he has done a lot of controversial things, in my opinion. He has said a lot of controversial things. However, when it comes to World of Warcraft and when it comes to the things he said, I don't know. It's like, it's not like he's hiding the Epstein list again.
He doesn't even understand why people are frustrated with him to begin with. Essentially, what's been happening to his career over the last few months is death by a million cuts. There is no...
I know he's massively bleeding out subscribers on Twitch. I've seen a few videos about some metrics, and I know that pirate software, every time he goes online, he loses subscribers. But still, I don't... Okay, the guy is annoying, but it's not like he killed someone. It's not like he caused... I don't know.
Massive drama or controversy that has really caused all of this. It's rather just countless moments of him messing up and refusing to acknowledge any of his mistakes whatsoever. And then when he refuses to acknowledge any mistake, he then doubles down and tries to gaslight everyone by saying, actually, I'm the one who's right, no matter what. I mean, if pirate software was placed on an island with a rock and whoever admitted they were wrong first would get to leave the island.
Yeah, pirate software does appear to be very self-absorbed. And he does appear, in my opinion, to be, playing this smartass character. But in my opinion, I think he's leaning a lot into it after the controversy because everybody talks about him.
They would both be stuck there forever. So obviously, today we're talking about the streamer by the name of Pirate Software. And to give you a very brief backstory, he left his entire team to die in a video game where you only have one.
He left his whole team to die in a video game. Exactly.
One life. He constantly critiques games and their developers, even attacking a whole movement that protects older games from becoming out.
I have signed the petition to this one, and I completely disagree with Pirate Software's opinion on this one. I wish Stop Killing Games. I hope Stop Killing Games is successful, and we can at least make it so that the game you paid for doesn't suddenly disappear into the ether few years down the line because it's no more profitable for the company.
Dated. He seems to have some god complex he acquired because he worked at Blizzard as a website security guy. And also, by the way, if you didn't know, he's definitely worked at Blizzard. Oh,
yeah, he did mention it a lot. He does mention that he works at Blizzard a lot. Don't know why he has to do that, but yeah.
He also worked as a person who detected cheaters in their games, which is kind of ironic considering recently he was exposed for blatantly cheating in puzzle games. Basically, he was on.
I have played World of Warcraft a lot, and I can tell you that there were a lot of times where I would go into an area and there would be a character followed by 20 bots that would do the exact same movement that character did, and they would go around farming mobs, farming nodes, and it's like I would go in World of Warcraft and see a lot of cheaters farming with automation. So I don't know exactly what kind of job he was doing there, but it didn't seem to be working.
His phone during the stream and suddenly went, "Oh, I know the answer." And everyone was like, "Well, is that because you Googled it, dude?" So Pirate then responded via stream and said that he did not.
Yeah, I remember that. They were saying that he was Googling puzzle solutions.
Cheat, and seemed pretty taken aback that people even thought that he would ever cheat.
Why did you cheat in Outer Wilds? What? How the hell would you cheat in that game? Bro, we played it all live on stream. All right, bud. It's a wild-ass thing to say. What the hell?
Essentially,
his reaction is very suspicious here. For anybody who's seen JCS criminal psychology or things like that, where they interrogate actual criminals, his reaction was very suspicious here. But still, even if he did look up the solutions to Outer Wilds, even if he did leave his friends to die in that hardcore World of Warcraft guild, I still think the hate is overblown.
Actually, this dude is a love child of hypocrisy and deniability. Oh, and again, did I mention that he worked at Blizzard?
Yeah. Also, he worked at Blizzard. Did you know that?
Watching a video that was critiquing you for mentioning you work at Blizzard so much, I literally never talk about it.
He does.
When I worked at Blizzard, I did that for Blizzard. Blizzard, 7 years, yeah. Blizzard. I used to work at Blizzard Entertainment. Used to work at Blizzard Entertainment. You're red team specialist for Blizzard Entertainment.
A red team specialist at Blizzard Entertainment. I used to be a red team specialist at Blizzard Entertainment.
And Blizzard. I grew up at Blizzard.
They timed it to the music. Oh, that's perfect.
I don't think I'm better than other people. There's a lot of people that brought that up. And it's like, I never said that I was. I think sometimes the things that I talk...
Look, I'm not going to say I'm Batman. I'm just going to say you haven't seen me and Batman in the same room together at the same time. So do with that what you will.
About in regards to those types of things is misconstrued as...
Oh, did I tell you he used to work at Blizzard?
Arrogance or boasting? When in reality, I'm just trying to give context.
So that is the problem right there. So I want you to listen to this phrase. This gets misconstrued as arrogance, but in reality, it's this. Yeah. That is the most arrogant statement on the planet, bro.
But I guess things have just got...
Yeah, he does come across as very arrogant. That's a great point, actually.
A whole lot worse, because it was like 2 weeks ago since we made a 14-minute long video discussing most of this stuff. If you thought things were bad 2 weeks ago, they've got a whole lot worse. I mean, you have dudes who've been making, 14 videos in a row on essentially everything this guy has done since then. So, apparently a lot is going on. And we'll talk about that channel in a little bit because Pirate has actually responded to some of the allegations from that channel. But either way, Pirate has received a lot of attention in the last couple of months. And I think it's the wrong kind, not the one that he wanted, because he's lost nearly 250,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Wow.
And over 100,000 followers on Twitch, which is absolutely insane. I mean,
okay, I think he must have reached the point where the way he comes across is so off-putting that people just don't want to watch anymore. So I think, in my opinion, maybe he should have completely leaned into it to such a to that persona so hard that it would actually turn out to be like satirical. That's what I would suggest him to do. But still, I think this whole dogpiling and hate on him is just, I don't know, it's just a bit too much for what he did, at least.
You would think with losses like that he would be guilty of something crazy, but instead, as I kind of hinted to previously, it's just kind of like death by 1,000 cuts. And it's not even real cuts, it's just like paper cuts that he won't take any accountability for. So our question for today is, why did all this happen? Well, this all came because Pirate Software, he was streaming on April 1st of this year and accidentally leaked a message between him and his moderator that suggests that he encouraged him to gift paid subscriptions and bits. Bits, by the way, are Twitch's currency. It's like a form of donating on Twitch.
He encouraged him to gift paid subscriptions.
And I get to many of you guys, this would be extremely confusing. Why would a streamer want their moderator to be giving them money? To simplify things, there's a feature on Twitch called a hype train.
A hype train. Essentially, the more you get donations or gifts in a short amount of time, it raises the level of this hype train.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen the hype train feature in Twitch. It's above the chat, and you can see it.
And on April 1st of this year, Pirate broke a record for the longest Twitch hype train.
Last year, on April 1st, back in 2024, Twitch's hype train record smashed again by Pirate Software. And they go into detail about Pirate breaking the Twitch hype train world record, with his channel reaching level 106 on April 1st. Once the hype train was initiated, it took Hall roughly 3 hours to beat his previous level 55 world record from December, with viewers contributing 54,380 gifted subs alongside regular subscriptions and 8.2 million bits.
8.2 million bits.
Likely earning Hall a healthy 6-figure sum in the process.
So why does this matter?
Wow, bro. Imagine like me and you having to work night shifts and afternoon shifts and morning shifts to make like the basic monthly salary and barely surviving, and one guy making 6-figure sum in just one stream. Wow.
Well, on April 1st of this year, Pirate Software went live with the intention of beating this record again, because it had been beaten by another streamer by the name of Vidal. Randomly, during his stream, he accidentally opened his Discord chat with his moderator.
I wished I could place my head between them and go full burr mode and make... What?
Uh-oh.
I did 50k bits at 20 seconds left. Okay, what is the alt account? Serendipitous Bean. Where's the beef?
Yeah, so as you can see, some tomfoolery was happening. Out of all the chat logs for him to open on stream.
Okay, some guy told him that he did 50,000 bits. Okay, but that could mean that just the guy was just trying to glaze him through private messages by telling him he put all that money in bits. Sometimes they...
He literally opens the chat log where he's communicating with a moderator of donating money to keep the hype train going, and the mod even states which account he's donating through, called Serendipitous Bean. And then to make things worse, they try to make that account look like it's not the moderator who's donating all this money to keep the hype train going.
Okay, this looks suspicious.
And for him to inevitably beat that record. Yeah, that doesn't look great. So now he's...
Yeah, that does look. If it was the moderator straight up doing it on his account and just saying that could easily be passed on as, you know, she's just glazing him in private messages. But why would he need an alt account to make it look like it's not the moderator?
He's not only allegedly cheating in puzzle-solving games, but also allegedly cheating for Twitch donation records. Now, he just responded to those allegations that were originally, from what I know, brought into the spotlight by the YouTuber Quintheo. So here, we're going off of screenshots that Ock20000 took from Pirate's Discord. But here, you can see that Pirate added everyone in his Discord and said, "A content creator called Quintheo is continuously farming ad revenue by making false claims and drama content about me. Recently, he claimed that Kronos broke TOS by giving bits/subs to the Giga Train in April. Kronos used his own money to do this and can do what he likes with that money. Below is some information with receipts about all of that to refute the false claims about
Release some information with receipts about all of that to refute the false claims about the situation. This creator has changed his entire brand into pirate software hate content for profit as shown in image 4. Prior to this year's April 1st Gigatrain going live, I made the announcement that I would be receiving 0% of the profits. Of the profits from the train, 50% would be going to the moderation team and 50% would be given to the ferret rescue. This community was well informed of this. You can find this attached as image 1. The total income from the Gigatrain was 75,000, rounded up to the nearest thousand. This means that half of the train was 35, the amount was split 15 ways to all the staff besides myself. This means all this. You can find this attached in image 2. Kronos threw 70,000 bits. Wow. Okay, he bought all of this in GBP, which came to what? Kronos just spent all that in one stream. A moderator spent $2,800. That's like a used car. You can find these transactions attached in image 3. Further, subs are not a one-to-one either. Subs came out to about 68% of the overall computer distribution. However, no, Kronos was not directed to do this. No, he was not compensated for this. He has lost money doing this. No, the Twitch TOS was not broken. No matter how many people try to claim otherwise, you now have the receipts and math to prove this. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
The situation. The creator has changed his entire brand into pirate software hate content for profit, as shown in image was $37,500, and that amount $2,800. Much worse. This means you were spending about £300 or about $400 to get to, which is another loss on top of this. Each conversion reduces the total income claim. Otherwise, you now have the.
Okay, so he claims he had announced this to his community, that the donated bits would be given back to the moderation team. Okay, is this something that YouTubers do? Is this like a? Is this even
seats in the math to?
Does this not break the TOS?
Prove this. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Okay. Well, what stands out for me here is why didn't he address, them purposely plotting to donate under another account than Kronos' main account to keep the train alive? It just seems dishonest for your mod to be donating under a fake account that even says in the bio that
okay, yeah, it does seem dishonest.
He was a friend of Kronos and not Kronos himself. And another interesting point is Quinthio, he said in the comments of one of his videos that he had talked to Kronos. And here he claims that Kronos said that he wasn't reimbursed. But according to Thor's response here, Kronos would have actually received $2,500, which would make him almost fully reimbursed here. But Pirate follows up that first message with this. Now for the 1-2 punch against this BS. Quinthio's Discord has people actively doxing me in it. Okay, that's really bad. His moderation team is aware of this and has been encouraging it as shown in the images. They have also
been digging into Shay and her job as a secondary attack vector. In image 1, self-related, who is a mod, asks for doxing info directly. We forward all this info to the Discord trust and safety as a result. We also banned all of the users that were taking part. Okay, this is like straight up harassment at this point. I mean, does he deserve it for being arrogant? Don't think so. But the whole thing does seem shady. But then again, a lot of shady stuff are happening on Twitch. I remember watching a video lately where even the top where it claims that even the top streamers are botting their viewers. And obviously Twitch is not doing anything about it because it inflates the viewer numbers of Twitch. Therefore, Twitch can ask more money from advertisers.
Been digging into Shay and her job as a secondary attack vector. In image 1, Shelf Related, who is a mod, asks for
the more I grow up, the more I realize the whole world is rotten.
Doxing info directly. We've forwarded all of this to Discord Trust and Safety as a result. We've also banned all the users that were taking part of this from our Discord. Yeah, I mean, if this is true, that's not cool at all. Like, no matter what you think about a creator, you should never be posting their address or work address on the internet. Nor should you really have a scavenger hunt within your public Discord to try to find it. That just
I think this whole thing is completely blown out of proportion. Did he leave his team to die in a video game and take no accountability for something in the video game? Yes. Has he been glazing himself about working in Blizzard and talking about it? Yes. Is he arrogant and annoying to watch? For me, it is, yes. But
This comes across as extreme.
this is too much. Like, he didn't kill someone. He didn't, like, cause harm to somebody. He's just annoying. I think, like, we have bigger problems in the world than this.
Extremely obsessive and creepy. Now, I'm only taking Pirate's word for that here because I haven't been inside of Quinthio's Discord to see what was actually going on, but if that's true, that's definitely not a good look. Then, Pirate's last message in the series of posts said, "No, Quinthio, my address is not public information, and your
Why would you want his address anyway? Like, what good would he do? Just don't watch him. If just don't watch him.
users are distributing it on your Discord while the mods encourage it. They didn't just go after me and Shay either, they went after our moderation team too, as shown here. You cannot BS this away. Leave me and my team alone." I mean, that's fair. Like, Pirate has plenty of public actions and statements that are free game to critique all you want, but you shouldn't be going for their addresses no matter what. And come on, I mean, Pirate's game called Heartbound. This game has been a completely step back from.
Just don't watch him if you don't like him. I personally don't watch him. I used to watch his shorts and stuff like that, but because of the way he presents himself, I don't watch him. But I think all this hate is too much.
That game studio, as he announced here. And Ludwig, who is one of the founders of that studio, thanked him for doing so. And that then brings us to Pirate's game called.
Let's focus on actually hating on real criminals, like whoever is in Epstein's list, for example.
Heartbound. This game has been in production for a very long time, and Pirate has not been silent about criticizing other games in the past, like Undertale, who many claim his game has taken a lot of inspiration from.
Undertale is the best example of this. Undertale is made by.
That's one of the videos I've seen. That's one of the first videos I saw as well. Was it Undertale or was it another one where he mentions that everything is within one.
Toby Fox. Undertale is a brilliant goddamn game. It's very good. It's also coded like shit. And that's fine. If you look at the decompiles that people have done of Undertale, you'll find that there are rooms that have hundreds of if statements checking the same value, then it sets it to 0, then it checks it again before doing anything. Meaning all of those if statements did nothing except for take processing power. There are sections of the game that show, like, oh, here's an example. All the dialogue in all.
I remember one time at some point I dove into game development and I did the whole thing of following YouTube channels where they would take you step by step of coding in Unity. And I know that you don't put lots of if statements checking on the same value at the same time. You just, if you need to do something, you just put a trigger, and that trigger runs a function, and you put anything you need in that function so that it runs once, and that's it. And it's
of Undertale is in a single switch case statement in one object. It's thousands and thousands of cases long. Single object, all of the dialogue in the game.
From what I understand, the dialogue is part of the canvas. It's, you don't have to do if statements, all these if statements.
Hard-coded into that object. Insane. Insane behavior. But it doesn't matter. You can be bad at programming and make a brilliant game that changes the entire industry.
So obviously, if you
tell that to Yandere Sim, the developer of the Yandere simulator, that has done, from what I know, he has done such a horrible job in coding Yandere simulator that even a cel-shaded simple game like that game could cripple your entire performance, because he has everything running during the update function, which is like checking every single frame, and it actually kills your performance.
You're talking like that, you better have some really good code when it comes to your game. And to even double down on that, Pirate went on to say that his game was uncrackable. You could not pirate his game, which someone proved to be
I remember that too. I remember that short Pirate Software did, where he mentioned that they had done this as part of the Steam achievements, so that you can't play the game unless you have it on Steam. Or something like that.
Be wrong very quickly. In this pretty viral thread on Twitter, the user by the name of Peach2K2 pointed out that the code is messy and badly organized. It has lots of inconsistent formatting, confusing variable names, and missing comments make it hard to follow. Essentially, Peach here waved a red flag about Pirate Software's technical skills and professionalism when it comes to coding games. And this also caused more people from the game dev community to start looking into this guy's code. And this includes a guy that goes by Coding Jesus. And here he made a
Coding Jesus.
A 14-minute video where he essentially says the code of his game is embarrassing.
Honestly, if I was claiming I'm a game developer with 20 years of experience, this would be embarrassing to have online.
Why? What's the problem? I'm reading through the code, trying to figure out what the problem is exactly with his code.
So Pirate took offense to that, and he went on to claim that his game Heartbound, it was coded so well that it could run on a smart fridge to show its efficiency. But it turns out the game was allegedly ran on a PC and mirrored to the fridge screen.
It is irrelevant to increase performance on a game that runs on a smart fridge.
The day my devastating video on Pirate Software's slop lighting system dropped, he did an 8-hour cope stream, justifying the slop by referring to the fact that his game runs on a smart fridge. So let's analyze what's really going on. Here's the video of Heartbound running, quote-unquote, on a smart fridge. Let's rewind a little. What do we notice here? We notice that the game is actually being run on a laptop and streamed to the fridge using a Raspberry Pi device. If we zoom in a little closer, you can see it says connecting to Heartbridge, which is the name of the laptop and the
Connecting to Heartbridge, calling Heartbridge. Okay.
The hotspot connection he set up. In this case, the screen simply acts as a controller. Everything is running on the laptop, and the actual output is just being streamed back to the smart fridge. The fridge isn't computing anything itself. To emphasize this,
from what I understand,
here's a video of
the game was made. He made his own custom game engine, so the whole game has its own game engine and the game, right? Because they're talking about the lighting.
Washing machine running Death Stranding.
So when your game runs at perfect performance on a smart fridge instead of a Lowe's, come back and talk shit.
So Pirate made that video.
See, that's the thing with Pirate. He's got this personality that's kind of off-putting. That's what I can say.
Following the fridge, and we already saw Coding Jesus' response. So I guess, again, he made some weird response to try to make himself look like a genius. It's never that serious, and I'm very confused in why he's trying so hard to come across as like the smartest dude in the room.
Yeah, I agree with that. You don't have to do that. It makes it. You don't have to do that. Just be humble.
Because by trying to do so, he's kind of proving to the world that he's not that. I mean, the dude is just actively destroying his career live by continuing to double down rather than admit fault and fixing mistakes. Because, like, imagine if his response...
Just, if you're going to do that, if you're going to double down... Look, if you're going to double down on this one, and you want to be arrogant about things, just lean into it so hard that it becomes comical. You know, maybe break character a few times so that people realize you're doing it as a joke and not because right now it comes across as he's actually seriously thinking all these things. And for me, it's sometimes off-putting to see his replies. But that being said, from that small snippet of code, from what I saw, and from that very tiny experience I have with coding, it doesn't seem like it's so bad. It's just calling a function and then specifying below. It was specifying below what kind of sprite and colors and alpha it was, it seems normal. I don't understand what the whole coding issue was with the game. But then again, I haven't played Heartbound because I've been obsessed with Skyrim VR and 450 mods that I have. But yeah, Pirate Software. I'm really, really, really interested to see how far low he can drop his subscriber count. And I'm wondering what is going to happen next within a month or two for him to come back out again. And I'm interested to see if he can manage to turn this whole thing around. Personally, I think that if he stays out of the spotlight or out of drama for the next couple of months, he can like start, people will forget about it and move on, because there's a lot more serious stuff happening right now than Pirate Software coming across as an arrogant guy. There is like Ghislaine Maxwell that's about to be pardoned. There is like a whole bunch of wars happening with people dying. There's criminals in the street going in massive sprees. And so this one is, I think, nothing burger. And I think there's no point. And I think it's like the hate is a little bit overblown. But I don't know, tell me what you think. And see you on the next one.